and welcome to Soulful Sunday, a weekly video where we dive in and see if there are any channeled messages or guidance from Spirit for the upcoming week ahead. Today's video is for the week of Sunday, February 20th, all the way until Saturday, February 26th. Before we get started, I just want to note that my ring light literally just broke right before I started filming this video. So hopefully the lighting is not too bad, but we will try to get that fixed by next week. All right, let's get started. So the first message that I got when I opened up my channel was don't lose hope. Let the cards fall where they may. This division/polarity of energies had to meet or collide at some point. Now, this is specifically talking about the convoy protests that are happening here in Canada, but not just Ottawa, all over Canada, all over the world, but specifically in Ottawa this weekend, they are coming to a head. And to just sort of look at this from an energy perspective, whatever side you're on in all of this is to, or whatever your beliefs are, it's not a matter of if this was going to happen, this sort of tension rising and erupting. It was just a question of when. And, the message from Spirit is we need to let this play out and know that collectively our voices are being heard. And whatever your opinion is or stance is on this convoy, there's a lot of global attention on this, and even people that have been against the convoy are sort of waking up in terms of being perplexed and disturbed about how the Canadian government is choosing to deal with this and how they are responding, the language that is being used, how it's being used, and an abuse of power. So there's a lot of bigger things playing out right now versus just the convoy. It's also we're being illuminated to look at these political systems and abuse of power and the histories of all that happening. So the message is about this is to not get too caught up in the 3D stuff or how this is going to play out. Like who does what, who did this, now they're banning this, now you can't do this, now you can't do that. The message here is just know that the fact that there's anything to play out here in the first place between these two energies means that the old is getting fragmented. Because if this wasn't playing out at all, that would mean that we were exactly where we started. So whatever comes of this, whatever, if they pull everybody from Ottawa and, whatever, it doesn't really matter, Spirit is saying, is because the message has already gone now, and the energy has already come together and amplified and created a sort of world stage for other people and other countries to sort of look at what is happening here when a country is not willing to sit down with people that have different views with them, or when the government in power, I should say, not a country. So the other message is you can stop this movement financially, physically. You could physically remove these people. You can freeze their bank accounts. You can freeze the money for the funds. But you can't stop it energetically. And it has already done what it came here to do, which is to unite, to awaken, and to give hope, but also to illuminate. Because if people aren't in agreement with it or against it for whatever reasons, either way, like I've said in previous videos, it has gotten people talking. It has gotten people talking about the mandates, about our government, about racism. It has gotten people riled up. And I see this energetically as a good thing, because we can't invite change and we can't have these opportunities for change and shifting and pivoting if we don't start to have these difficult conversations, or we don't have some sort of a catalyst to help us have these conversations. And another message that came through, which I thought was really interesting, this is a really energetic, high perspective level frequency, to thank the key players for the role they've played in helping to continue to shift our consciousness and send them on their way with love. So that would be the government in power, or the leader in power, like thanking Trudeau, whatever your stance is on what's happening. I try to stay neutral energetically with these videos, but getting like your perspective to a level where you're like, you know what, thank you for the role that you've played here in Canada, because you have illuminated a lot of people or helped a lot of people to wake up, and you've done the opposite of what you've been trying to do. Like, you've helped actually to unite a lot of Canadians. So thank you for that, and it's time for you to go now, and sending them on their way with love. They are no longer needed in this new level of Earth's consciousness. So thank you for the role that you played, and it's now time for you to go. And then that sort of leaves a space for new types of leadership or systems, etc., to come in. So we're going to pull some cards. Oh, and one more message, something that I wrote down, which is kind of oddly specific, but I wrote down take care of your feet, and that doesn't really have anything to really do with what we were just talking about. By taking care of your feet chakras, oh, you know what, I think, okay, so attention to your feet, what actually that means is taking a notice of where you stand in all of this, like where you stand in your life and what you stand for, what you're willing to stand up for, what your limits are. Being aware of where you stand on all of this, and there can be nuances, and you can feel a little bit on this side or a little bit on that side for your own reasons, but knowing where you stand. And there were a few videos last week where we did meditations where we were talking about getting in tune with your inner compass, right? So what is outside of your compass that pulls you away from your inner truth? What tools inside your compass would you like to have that help you connect back to yourself? So going for a walk, meditating, seeing a friend, being alone. And then the actual what makes up the needle of your compass, which is your core beliefs and values. And when we're really, really clear on that, it's a lot easier to navigate the outside distractions. Okay, so we're gonna pull some cards, and we are pulling from the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle by Lon, L-O-N. I've used this in a couple other videos. Okay. And these are really pretty cards. Like, they're all blue on the back, and then they have different I guess mandalas or energy imprints. Okay, so I've pulled full cards. So the first card is consciousness, and just like check out the flower of life action on this bad boy. This is some really cool creation frequencies, rebirthing. Yeah, and I almost see like these blue lights as just like the unity, like people really coming together to help protect this new energy, this new earth that's going to be coming in and kind of pushing out the old and holding space, creating space for this new. And I'll read the card too. So the frequency of consciousness supports our ability to focus our attention on all of the multidimensional aspects that show up so that we can include them in our reality. Very cool. We were just talking about inner compass, right? Inner compass, and then choosing if that aligns for you and where you want to focus and funnel your energy. Next card is Dynamic, which is a really nice card. Cool colors and triangle shape. So the frequency of dynamic supports our ability to harmonize between layers and aspects of different origin and frequency. Well, there you go. It helps us to put together a reality that is made up of many different elements, both familiar and completely new, with ease, grace, and great joy. Well, isn't that a fantastic message? Yeah. Helps us to put together a reality that is made up of many different elements, both familiar and completely new. These new systems and this new earth consciousness that we are all collectively moving towards. And you know, it's just, again, it's not a matter of if we're going to move into this new consciousness, it's a matter of when. It just might get delayed by lower level frequencies or distractions or outside noise, but the outcome is inevitable. So whether it happens in the next 2 years or the next 20 years or the next 200 years, it's happening. That's a stretch. I don't think it's going to be that long, but you get the idea. So the next card is Remembrance. And I pulled this card, I feel like I pulled this card last week or the week before, but I keep pulling this card. So the frequency of remembrance supports our memory of everything that we have gone through as a soul in body, providing us with valuable information and tools to flow gracefully with and in this life. I see this as a sort of remembering or starting to remember or moving in the direction of starting to remember that we are all cut from the same cloth. We are all fragments or little aspects of the universe experiencing itself. And remembering that when we judge someone or speak poorly of somebody, or we're divided against somebody, that, you know, whatever we're really saying to them, it's almost like you're saying it to yourself, since we're all part of Source. So just being really conscious too, Blue, with the throat chakra, being conscious of our words and how we speak, not even how we speak to people, that's really important, but what's also really important is how we speak about other people, like even when they're not in the room, because it's all energy. So being really, really conscious of how you're directing your throat chakra and how you're choosing to use your sacred gift of voice and words, and how you want to funnel that energy, and doing that accordingly. So the last card that we pulled, or I pulled, is Fertility. So there we go. Kind of seems like some earthy energies here with the green lights, or sort of green colors and the lights. Really cool. Okay, so the frequency of fertility invites us to be more open, more courageous, more creative, and more joyful than we were before. It activates the potential for something beautiful to grow from our consciousness into a new and grander expression of ourselves. Yes, this is what we're doing. We've been doing this individually, but we're also doing this together as a group. Okay, so those are your messages for this week. Just to recap quickly, don't lose hope. This is playing out for a reason. It had to come to a head at some point, and it just happens to be right now. And if it didn't play out like this this week, it would happen next week. It was just a matter of time. Letting the cards fall where they may. We sort of just have to let this play out in a certain way right now. Know that collectively our voices are being heard. And that this movement has already done what it came here to do. Unite, awaken, give hope, and raise a couple eyebrows, because that's how we move towards change. And I'm a huge advocate for that. And thanking key players for the role that they've played in helping to continue to shift our consciousness and sending them their way with love. And you know, you could even be like, we really want to get into like higher dimensional consciousness sort of thing with that last message. We could even think about it like, you know, say you were completely against this movement, this trucker movement, and you think that it's ridiculous and you don't understand why people are doing this and blah, blah, blah. So like that, let's just pretend that you're of that belief. So if we're asking you to thank the key players that for the role they've played, you could be, you know, get a higher perspective here and thank the truckers and the protesters for the role that they have played in helping to continue to shift our consciousness and sending them on their way with love. Like, everybody has a different truth here and a different reality, right? So that could even be a spin on the message that was received for today. So yeah, I don't know, think about that. Hopefully these messages were helpful for you, and I hope you have a great week. Come back here next Sunday for the next Soulful Sunday. Hopefully there'll be a bit better lighting, and yeah, take care of yourselves. Have a great week. Namaste. Ciao.